Good morning, guys, or whenever you're watching this. We're back with another Higurashi chapter. Last one ended with them leaving the shrine they weren't supposed to be in. So let's see what happens after they leave. The night of the Watanagashi. Everyone at the festival seemed to have gone to the stream, so their voices were very distant. The voices of the bugs, on the other hand, were clear, lending it an empty feeling of isolation to the place. How was it? Interesting? Tomotaki-san gave us a somewhat mischievous grin. He should have been able to tell by looking at how pale our faces were. I should have kept watch outside with you, Tomotaki-san. Tomotaki-san laughed so delightfully that it wiped away our dark feelings. How did you fare, Shion-chan? Were you scared? I was prepared for it, so I wasn't too afraid, but seeing the real thing was powerful. Shion spoke like she wasn't scared at all. She really had been quite afraid, but seeing as how I was in way worse a state than her, I didn't have much room to talk. As Tomotaki-san grinned candidly, my mind, exhausted and locked up by nervousness, began to calm itself. Was Tanaka-san an adult about this little expedition? You know how she seems like a child sometimes. I was worried she'd be way too excited. Both Shion and I laughed and left that as our answer. Hopefully she was only looking at things. I'm worried she'll sneak something out of there or mess with the ritual implement too much and break it or something. Right, that's quite possible. She is alone in there right now. She might pilify something small and easily concealed, hiding it in her pocket. Yeah, I can see that. Shion said what I was thinking. You're sure she didn't break anything? I could clearly hear some noises like someone jumping up and down. I was getting pretty nervous. I'm sorry, I ran out of film. Gyro-san, if you have any more, could I use some? Tanaka-san suddenly appeared while we were talking about her, taking everyone by surprise. Tomotaki-san smoothly grinned and responded as if nothing had happened. He's pretty mature. I'm all out of spare film. Sorry about that. Jeez, you won't win any Pulitzer prizes by now, stocking enough film for any occasion, you know. I suppose that's it then. Tomotaki-san scratched his head apologetically. Without film, we're done here. Tanaka-san seemed to have given up because of that too. We checked carefully to make sure we hadn't left anything inside, then closed the door and turned the heavy padlock we'd left beside it. Tanaka-san, you didn't sneak anything out, right? How rude. I'm trying not to be that childish. Kerclink. Tomotaki set the padlock back to the way it was before. From a cursory glance, it didn't look like thieves had snuck in at all. Okay, let's get over to the stream ourselves. If we don't at least set some cotton afloat, there won't be any point in coming to the festival. Tomotaki-san spoke brightly, urging us all on. Setting cotton afloat down the stream, I shake my head a few times, driving away my dismal thoughts as to the double meaning. Tanaka-san, looking a little let down, kept turning back to glance at the ritual storehouse. Let's just leave it at that, alright? You saw enough to state your curiosity, didn't you? Oh, not at all. Everything I found only renewed my interest. All those stories and legends suddenly hold water. After today, I'm going to have to change the way I look at all this. Wow, she's truly inimitable. Her curiosity really is something else, still interested in all this through and through. We descended the stone stairs, and all the people crowding the stream came into view. Near the bottom of the stairs, we could clearly see people receiving cotton that had been cut out for them, then wishing upon the cotton and setting it afloat down the stream. The festival was already over. Damn, I missed my chance to photograph the best part of Watanagashi. Oh, but it's not too late. I'm going to go and set some afloat. Perhaps you could take pictures of me? Tanaka-san, with an impish expression, brought her head to Tomotaki-san's shoulder. Despite his age, he looked embarrassed. I felt an honest respect for Tomotaki-san, man to man, for dating such a handful of a woman. Goodbye then, my Baru-kun, Shion-chan. We're going down to the stream. Would you like to come with us? No, I couldn't get in your way. Please, take your time. Shion waved her hand to them with an expression just as impish as Takano-san's. Tomotaki-san, on his part, seemed to want to come, but whatever. Shion gave a big stretch and sat down on the stone steps. I'm pretty worn out. Same here. I'm exhausted, too. Kei-chan, this is your first Watanagashi, isn't it? You go on, don't mind me. I'm tired, so I'd like to stay away from the crowd. Yeah, if we were to go now, we'd barely slip into the end of the cotton drifting ceremony. My sister and your other friends might be looking for you, too. Go on. Oh, yeah, right. They've been by themselves ever since we got separated. I'd feel bad if they were looking for me. Then Shion suddenly got a playful look on her face, then put her index finger to her lips as if to tell me to keep this a secret. My sister is the type that gets really jealous. If she knew I was hawking you this whole time, she'd never let me hear the end of it. So keep tonight a secret, okay? Keep tonight a secret. Don't say things that are so embarrassing. Not only because of that either. Considering what we were doing tonight, we really need to keep it a secret. Oyashiro-sama's curse might happen tonight, and we four would be the prime candidates. The loosening threads of tension became taut again. Shion, however, burst out laughing. Alright, I'm going to get out of here before I run into my sister. I really am tired, so I don't have the endurance to put up with her anyway. I can't tell if you get along with her or not. We get along. Though, as she said that, her vague expression explained that there were a lot of oddities in a relationship between twins. I'm an only child, so I don't really get it. Make sure you get along with her, okay? Right. Thank you kindly for your meddling. Okay, I'm gonna go. You should hurry up if you want to make it, Kei-chan. Watanagashi really is about to end. Shion stood up and brushed the dust off her backside. After watching her do so, I returned my eyes to the final ceremony of the Watanagashi festival below me. Seriously, though, what was that sound anyway? It was kind of unpleasant and creepy. Huh? What sound? The sound. You know, the banging noise. It was really loud, wasn't it? I was giving her a blank expression, so Shion stared hard at me. I stared hard at her too. Sorry, Shion. Could you give me the short version? What was making noise? Wait, Kei-chan, it didn't bother you? When all said and done, it was like we were speaking two different languages. Shion, explain it to me without jokes from the beginning, will you? What's this about a noise? Kei-chan, you quit joking around too. Really, honestly, it didn't bother you? Neither of us were giving any ground, and both of us were staring at the other in disbelief. We were answering questions with more questions, with no sign of an actual conversation in sight. Baffled, I held in the urge to shout at her and ask politely one more time. I'm going to ask one more time, okay? I'll ask the questions. Shion nodded silently. Okay, here goes. You said there was a sound. What are you talking about? The banging sound. It was like a kid was jumping up and down on the floorboards somewhere far away. It really didn't bother you? There was nothing to be bothered by. When did you hear this? I never heard anything. Wait, Kei-chan, are you serious? Shion, as if she didn't understand my plain and simple answer, pressed me farther, her expression serious. I have no clue what she's talking about, but if it has Shion acting so like this, whatever it was, it gave me the creeps and sent a chill down my spine. It was while we were looking around the inside of the ritual storehouse with Tanaka-san. About the time she started her stories, I think it was. Little by little, louder and louder, off and on. She heard a banging sound like a child jumping on distant floorboards. That can't be true. Don't start trying to scare me after all that. I didn't hear anything at all. In fact, it was so utterly silent in there that my own heartbeat was almost deafening. Please don't try to scare me either, Kei-chan. It was like something was making noise in time with Tanaka-san's scary stories, and I was totally creeped out the whole time. The chill rose from my spine to the back of my head. My blood turned cold as it crawled up my body. When it reached my head, my mind froze over. You and Tanaka-san weren't paying any attention to it at all, so I pretended not to hear it either, but you heard it, right? It happened a bunch of times and it was really loud. Shion's eyes were begging me to tell her I heard it. I had no doubt, however, that my own eyes suggested something entirely different. You've got to be kidding, look. In that storehouse we were surrounded by brutal ritual tools that looked like they were from another planet, listening to terrifying old stories. The whole time Shion had been hearing a sound that we couldn't hear by herself. Should that make Shion, who heard it, tremble, or should it make me, who didn't hear it, tremble? I didn't know the answer to that at the time. For now, Shion seemed to have made that decision before I did. What are you laughing about? I really got you, Kei-chan. I was fibbing the whole time. What? Shion laughed, saying how easily scared I was, and clapped me on the back. Her smile seemed somewhat artificial, and actually made me feel worse. Then after leaving me with 2 or 3 generic diplomatic goodbye phrases, she left, almost like she was running away. All I could do was look after her, my mouth agape. At the end of the day, I didn't have a clue what was going on. Shion laughed it off and said she had been lying, but she couldn't possibly have been lying. Of course not. And now that I think back, Tomotaki-san said the same thing, didn't he? I could clearly hear some noises like someone jumping up and down. I was getting pretty nervous. Tomotaki's son, the most neutral party present at the time, had said he'd heard something. And then, that noise, it was real. The banging sounds as though a child was jumping up and down on some kind of floorboards far away. Oyashiro-sama's curse, which happens every year, might happen again tonight. The most plausible victim candidates were Tanaka-san, Tomotaki's son, Shion, and me. The bustling of the people sounded farther away than I would have liked, and the sounds of the insects sounded too close for comfort. I'm near so much human warmth, and yet I can't ever go back there again. That was the ominous idea that sprouted in my mind. And then all of a sudden, I was pounced on from behind, causing my heart to lurch. Keiichi-chan, we found you. It was Rika-chan. When I turned around, Mion and Reina were there too. Mion sighed and said, "We finally found you. Now we just need to find Satoko." Everyone got split up this year. We should make sure we have somewhere to meet up afterwards next year. How? You're right. It's a festival, so we should all be together. I listened to Mion's happy declaration with a little bit of guilt. Keiichi, did you root for me while I was dancing? Yeah. I saw it all. You did a great job all the way through. No mistakes either. Yeah. That's right, Rika-chan. That didn't count as a mistake. I tensed up as I realized I'd made a mistake of my own. Mion slapped a hand onto my shoulder a little roughly. A gross sweat broke out over my whole body. Did you do it too, Kei-chan? Did you get some cotton and send it down the stream? You haven't yet, right? Is what I could feel her saying. Without the courage to tell any more lies, I lifelessly shook my head. Huh? You haven't, Keiichi-kun? You should go now, or it'll be over. It'll be over. Sorry. This is my first watch on Higurashi, so I don't really understand the rules and stuff. And that's right. I'm sorry. Mion took my hand and we started walking down the stone steps. Hey, Kei-chan. What? Did you see Shion? My heart skipped another beat. Maybe Mion could sense my surprise through my hand. No. Oh well. I sort of think I saw her. You two look so alike, though, so I might have been you. You wouldn't have gotten that wrong. We're wearing different clothes. Huh? Oh, that's right. Mion's momentary silence was like a death grip upon me. I just can't do anything about that, Shion. Well, it's her we're talking about, so we can leave her be. Mion's expression returned to her former, usual smile, and we continued down the stone steps, her firmly pulling my hand along. Looks like that was the end of chapter 7 within this chapter 2. We'll continue reading just a little more though. I let out a great big yawn. It was like morning had arrived just as I got to sleep. As Mom set up breakfast, she gave me a pained smile. What's the matter, Keiichi? What time did you go to sleep last night? Well, I wanted to go to sleep at midnight, but I had some trouble with that. You were probably all worked up from the festival. No, that's not it. Crunch, crunch. I crunched down hard on my pickled radish to hide my embarrassment. After all that happened yesterday and our discussion about the sound Shion heard, that banging noise like a child far away jumping up and down on a wooden floor, the story wouldn't get out of my head, so I had trouble sleeping. It was a long night, and I kept jumping at slight sounds of faraway tree branches, which should have been either unhearable or too insignificant to notice. When I woke up to the morning sunlight and birds chirping, it made me feel pretty ashamed about it, but I felt far from refreshed this morning. Keiichi-kun, good morning. Huh? Keiichi-kun, your eyes are all red. Why is that? Why? Oh, hey, good morning. I didn't get much sleep last night, so I'm sleep deprived today. Ugh. The festival yesterday was a lot of fun. Reina's excitement took a long time to go to sleep, so I took a long time to go to sleep too, In Reina's case, her excitement seemed to still be wide awake. They should have this kind of festival more often, so we can have lots of fun together again. How? Yeah. Reina talking about the festival yesterday made me remember everything I had nearly forgotten from last night. The inside of the ritual storehouse had been so utterly different from the relaxed, bright, everyday life of Hinamizawa. All those stories that Tanaka's son told me to, the mysterious incidents that occurred on the day of the Watanagashi festival every year, the strange incidents where one person would die and one would disappear, the old stories of Hinamizawa flickering like a candle behind them, the numerous and horrifying traditions of Onagafuchi village, the villagers with demon blood in them, the terrible cannibalistic feasts, the poor sacrifices kidnapped from human villages, victims of the Onikakushi. To quell the rage of Oyashiro-sama, the ritual involving living sacrifices, there were also many, many others. There were so many stories that just remembering them put me in a foul mood. Most of them weren't fiction either, they were true. We didn't need to fear them just because they were real though, since it all happened so long ago. Such a very long time ago. Where's Michan? She's late. Huh? Before I realized it, we had arrived at the place where we'd usually meet with Mion. Probably because I was so lost in thought. We agreed that if she isn't here by now, we can go on ahead, right? Should we? Mion being late wasn't too rare of an occurrence, but today she was unusually late. A few of the ominous tales from the night before came back to life in my mind again. Who would die this year and who would disappear? It couldn't have been Mion. What should we do, Keiichi-kun? If we don't get going, we'll be late. She'll be here. She didn't call to tell us she'd be staying home today, right? Let's just wait 5 more minutes, okay? Reina looked at her watch and seemed a little worried, but then she nodded with a satisfied smile. If we had to wait 5 minutes, we'd have to run as fast as we could to school or we'd be late. As soon as I thought that, we spotted Mion running towards us out of breath. Michan, you're late. You waited? You should have gone on ahead. Mion was breathing heavily and her face was all red. Her house was right down the road, wasn't it? It wasn't far enough away for her to end up like this, was it? Michan, are you not feeling well? Huh? Now that she mentioned it, Raina pushed Mion's bangs away and put her hand to her forehead. Raina, your hand is pretty cold. Hey, Chan, you're a little bit warm. It's no big deal. Give it half a day and I'll be fit as a fiddle. Are you really okay? You don't have to push yourself, you know. What's this? Kei-chan, are you worried about me? That's nice of you. That answer wasn't like Mion at all. She must have had it pretty bad. I just think you shouldn't push yourself so hard. We can tell the teacher you had to take the day off. I'm fine. I took some medicine. I think it's already working. Mion forced an energetic expression onto her face and flexed her biceps at us. Okay, then let's go. Don't overdo it, but of course there's the time. What? We have to run or we won't make it. This morning sure is thrilling. Maybe it's just what I need to shake off the slowness. Let's run. Hey, wait, you're sick. Don't go overboard. Mion began to run vigorously anyway. Mi-chan is older than us, right? She knows her own body better than anyone. I decided to leave it at that and assume she was fine. Great, then we should get going too. We began to run after Mion. The school looked the same as always. The hours passed listlessly, and lack of sleep took its toll. If there was a sport where people competed by sleeping, I'd be the world champion right now. The trick to overcoming this sort of dangerous situation was to hold your pencil upside down. Why, you ask? So you don't draw strange patterns all over your notes while half asleep. If you were holding your pencil upside down, that wouldn't happen, wouldn't it? Bump, 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 bump. Something that felt like an eraser hit me in the head 6 times. Ow, ow. What was that for, Sadako? I haven't done a single thing. Who else would play a prank on me like this? Oh, it was chalk, not an eraser. Eh? Behind me, like a female outlaw might hold razors, was the teacher's shadow, holding 3 pieces of chalk in each hand. Rumble, rumble, rumble. My Barakun, go and wash your face. Right. Gladly. That alone was enough to wake me up, but I flew out into the hallway as if shoved out by the pressure exuded by the teacher's sheer power. If I was going to wash my face anyway, then I would rather use the sinks out front rather than the ones in the dark restroom. Thinking that, I left the hallway and went to the entrance. The sunlight was strong. So strong, you wouldn't think it was June. I turned the faucet, and with a lifeless bubbling noise, lukewarm water came pouring out. If I let it run for a few moments, would it get cold? I looked at it absent-mindedly for a little while. I knew you'd choose these things, Kei-chan. The ones out front just feel better, don't they? Mion? No cutting class now. I stuck my hands into the water to find it had gotten so cold that it seemed strange it had ever been warm. I scooped it up and splashed it against my face. Once I was done, I moved out of the way and Mion did the same. Mion, how is your cold doing? You're sleepy because the medicine, not from lack of sleep, right? Actually, this is a secret, but after the festival yesterday, I got wrapped up in the party my relatives are having. And well, I had a bit. She made a gesture like she was tilting a cup into her mouth, which means you didn't have a cold or anything. Are you hungover? How old are you? Give me a break. I really don't feel well, you know. I suppose she'd be feeling lousy either way. Still, you treat colds and hangovers in completely different ways. I was worried over nothing. Man, I guess that's just like you, Mion. Mion scratched her head a little embarrassed. She didn't seem to be feeling well, but now that I knew it was a hangover, I didn't need to worry too much. It would go away with time, after all. Oh, but my head really is pounding, so the teacher told me I should go home early. You cheater. So, are you going home now, Mion? Now that I looked again, Mion had her bag with her. She must have been on her way home. Yep, I feel bad about it, though. I'll get some rest at home like a good girl. Sorry, I can't make it to the club. Would you take over as leader for today, Kei-chan? I don't know if that will happen. We have that unspoken rule where we don't do the club unless everyone is there, don't we? We never did it when you had to go to your part-time job, did we? Mion laughed wearily, saying we didn't need to worry about her. No matter how much fun we have, though, I think that feeling guilty about friends who can't share in it is a sign of a really fantastic friendship. In that sense, the club Mion has created is a wonderful thing. As I thought about it, the moisture on my washed face dried up. I suppose we were talking too much. If I didn't get back to the classroom soon, I could get in trouble. Okay, later. I'm going back. Be careful on your way home. Don't wobble into a sewer or a brook, got it? I left it at that, turned around, and started heading back to the classroom. Oh, one more thing, Kei-chan. Mion stopped me and turned my head to listen. What's up? This may sound weird, but don't think too hard about it. Well, that depends on what it is. Last night, near the end of the festival, did you see Tomotaki-san or Tanaka-san anywhere? I suddenly tensed up. You know Tomotaki-san and Tanaka-san, right? You remember, Kei-chan, when the four of you were talking during setup the day before? If I could, I wanted to forget about sneaking into the storehouse that night as soon as possible. So hearing the names of the people I was with at the time really got to me. Besides that, though, why was Mion asking me a question like that? I ended up staring at her, unable to answer immediately. Was she asking to see if I had seen them or not, or was she asking the question knowing that I had? I couldn't tell. Well, maybe. I might have seen them around, I don't know. My vague response was clearly not to Mion's liking. What answer was she expecting from me? There was no way for me to know. I see. And then one more question. On the same night, did you see Shion? My heart leapt into my throat again. The tiny needles buried underneath Mion's words pricked into me. Didn't you ask me that yesterday? I think I told you I wasn't sure if I had or not. Did you? I guess I just thought I'd get a different answer if I asked you again. I suddenly noticed something in Mion's eyes, something indescribable. Tomotaki-san and Tanaka-san, Shion too. She was asking me about them. There was no doubt about it. Last night, the four of us snuck into the ritual storehouse. She knew everything. So what? There's not really a curse anyway. That's right. Even Shion and Tanaka-san said yesterday during the festival that there was no curse. And that rather than a curse, it was the doing of the villagers. My blood curdled. Mion was, almost without a doubt, aware that we snuck into the storehouse. It was nothing strange. I screwed up bad flipping on the light switch last night. If Mion had been searching for me, it was simple to imagine that she had seen that momentary light and came to find out what was going on. Did you really not see her? Why are you so intent on knowing if I did or not? It's not important. It's just that there are some people who are speaking poorly of Tomotaki-san, Tanaka-san, Shion, and you, Kei-chan. I didn't really hear what they were saying, though. Unpleasant sweat dripped down my arms, and the sound of it hanging from my fingertips was so annoyingly loud. I don't believe that you were doing something bad. I just wanted to ask a bit about it, so I did. Sorry for making you uncomfortable, okay? I found myself unable to reply. My reaction must have made it obvious what the truth was, and yet I couldn't explain myself. Kei-chan, you weren't with Tomotaki-san, Tanaka-san, or Shion, right? Yeah. I finally wrung out an answer between ragged breaths, and Mion's expression softened a little. That's good. I'll have to tell them. You weren't involved in anything bad, Kei-chan, so I'll make sure to tell everyone. Yeah, please do. Tell them I wasn't doing anything bad. To everyone, make sure everyone, who is everyone? Okay, later. I'll be better tomorrow. Bye-bye. Wait, Mion. What do you mean by everyone? Just then, a freezing cold hand touched the back of my neck. Hey, you're late, my Baru-kun. How long does it take to wash your face? It was the teacher. I was taking so long she came out to get me. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just speaking to Mion. I turned around, but Mion had crossed through the schoolyard without me realizing it and was now standing at the gate. Come back to your studies, quickly now. The teacher was being insistent, and we returned to the entrance. I looked back one more time, and Mion was nowhere in sight. Okay, guys, and after that conversation, looks like we're gonna end it here. We'll find out if we go to club or not in the next one. See you soon.